Prabhu Deva, that movie song is inspired by another part of me by MJ. Garibi hatana hai, garibon ko hata do. Also, that comment is very sexist.
What do you think were the frame of reference for P. Padmarajan or Bharadan or even Sreenivasan to write those memorable female characters?
So, 8 years ago, I heard a old Prabhu Deva song from the 90s on YouTube. It kind of struck like, wait, this sounds like a Michael Jackson song. The tune sounded exactly like an MJ song, and it kept bugging me all these years. Which song is that? Which song is that? Like, I kept going back to that Tamil song just to think which song is it? Which song is it? And all these years later, Michael has released, and my feed is filled with MJ, reels. This reel from Rush Hour came up on my feed with Chris Tucker in it, and that song that I was looking for is in that movie, in that reel I heard. And I'm like, wait, this is a song I'm looking for because it sounded the same. And I went on Google and then I typed Michael Jackson song in Rush Hour, and voila, another part of me. I think it's from the album Bad. Yeah, I finally found that song I've been looking for God knows how many years.
വലിയ MJ fan എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞിട്ട് it took you almost a decade to figure out a song, huh?
I mean, there are so many MJ songs out there, so that happens.
We started this YouTube channel about 3 months ago. Basically, we had some thoughts about the movies we see. Let's make a YouTube channel. Let's put some content out there. Hopefully, people will enjoy it. And slowly and steadily, our channel has been growing. People are
watching us and following us.
When we put the video out about the Vanishing Actresses in Malayalam, just like any other video we put out, we are hoping, okay, you know what, a lot of people will watch, more and more people will subscribe to our channel. And when it happened in that video, we were beyond excited. We were quite overwhelmed. You see, because this is what we were hoping for, but then when it actually happened, we were like, whoa. So what we wanted to do was go through some of the comments we got for the video, share some of our responses, and also talk some more about some of the interesting female characters we have seen over the years.
Yeah. And this topic is a long time coming.
Because we've been discussing about this for, I don't know, so many months now, and we've had this discussion quite a number of times. So to each and everyone who saw our content, who subscribed to our channel, who dropped comments, we want to really thank you so much. Please keep doing it more. Please subscribe to our channel. Follow on other platforms as well.
Follow us on Instagram. Leave us comments on Instagram as well. Like, share, subscribe our YouTube channel. Engage, comment on our YouTube channel. We have a Reddit page as well, and you can engage with us on Reddit as well.
Actually, you are right. We also don't have a lot of female friendship films. And another person commented, yes, it's sad. Malayalam industry doesn't promote women that much.
I agree about the female friendship one. There are very few films on female friendships. There's one that specifically comes to my mind is about cousins and their friendship, which is Summer in Bethlehem. But sadly, that was not the central point of the movie. It was just one part of the movie. And but again, there is another famous Padmarajan film called Deshadana Karayarilla. That movie is about female friendship, and it borders queer relationship as well. But again, because back then they didn't market the movie as such, it was just treated as any other story. And because it is from a director like Padmarajan, he could explore like a movie in a very different perspective.
Also, there's one thing about Padmarajan which I've noticed is he doesn't sensationalize topics around sexuality or gender and all that. Darshana is very underrated. She was really good in Jaya, Jaya, Hridayam and Mukundan Unni Associates, which the commentator got wrong. It was a different actress. Anyways, I actually like that we are getting a Vaazha 3 with a focus on female characters. Vipin Das is a good writer and the hate just feels stupid. feels forced and narrow-minded for a project that hasn't even come out yet.
I feel she has a lot of potential and talent, and she was able to do it, show it through certain movies, but she's yet to do like a really standout performance, something like Fahad has done or Nivin has done. That really needs to come out for her to establish as like, whoa, this actress is a force to be reckoned with. For me personally, I never liked Jaya 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 Hai. Like, that's my personal opinion. I had issue with the story and the screenplay part, but Darshana was incredible in it. And Darshana also, again, my problem with Darshana in Hridayam was I liked the performance, but again, her character didn't have any depth. Her character was not explored well. Hence, it did not show up in the movie. Darshana was the only actor I genuinely enjoyed in Hridayam. Rest was just meh. I didn't like Hridayam at all.
As for the Vaazha 3 thing, based on the response that Vaazha 3's announcement got, like the number of people who started dropping in comments and all that, I mean, there are some really quite a lot of narrow-minded people out there, man. A lot of toxic millennial men who grew up with macho men in cinema are now the filmmakers. That's the explanation. They don't know how to write women or direct them. And somebody else, I think Amal Shankar, this guy commented, then ask the ladies to make films, let the femininity shine through. And another one is, what is the biggest grossing Malayalam film? Would you call 100 crore films like Manjumal Boys, Premalu, Goat Life, Vada to 2018 macho men movies? Another comment which is, I'm a female. Please stop blaming men for everything. There are limitations to men to write and direct female movies. Their lived experiences are so different. Instead of blaming men, encourage more female writers and directors to come forward.
I don't think that people like writers or directors who grew up watching this toxic, these characters, watching toxic characters is a problem. I feel the problem is the lack of intent and attempt to write relatable characters. I'm sorry, 80s and 90s had some really good female characters in the movies. So I don't think it is the toxic masculinity part. I don't know why are we bringing gender politics into this. We are talking about writing female characters. It's about cinema and representation. It's not about gender politics at all.
Watching macho men movies growing up, I don't think so. Because by that logic, what do you think were the frame of reference for P. Padmarajan or Bharadan or even Sreenivasan to write those memorable female characters?
Exactly.
Right? So I really don't think it is something to do with what they were exposed to. It is about how creatively can you think and write. ബട്ട് ബാക്കിയുള്ള ഇൻഡസ്ട്രീസിൽ നോക്ക്, 2000-ൽ വന്ന തമന്ന, ശ്രുതി ഹസൻ, അനുഷ്ക ഷെട്ടി, സമന്ത, ഹിന്ദിയിൽ തന്നെ പഴയ നായികമാർ തന്നെ ഇപ്പോഴും ഉണ്ട്. ഇവിടെ മാത്രം
The person is right that Tamanna, Samantha, Kajal Agarwal,
Shruti Hassan, Anushka Shetty,
they all are still working in Kannada, Telugu, Tamil industry. And even in Hindi, there is Kareena Kapoor, there is Kajal, there is Kriti Sanon. So many of them are still working and they're still getting roles, even though that not without being ageist. I'm guessing like what the point that the person is trying to make is that the industry, even though they're churning out mediocre movies, there's still roles written for actors so that they can be a part of the industry consistently. Even they want to do good whatever roles that is coming to them. I kind of agree with that, and which is something which is not happening in Malayalam industry at the moment. More Malayalam industry definitely needs writers to write some really diverse characters so that it doesn't become a boys club like we mentioned in the episode as well. I'll give you one example. There's a Hindi movie called Crew, which has Tabu, which has Kareena Kapoor and Kriti Sanon. All these three women, they are air hostesses who might lose their jobs, and the kind of antics they do to keep their job is what makes the movie so good. It is no nonsense, but it's a fun movie to watch because there's no preachy messaging, nothing. Just all these women, they're just trying to live their lives and wanting to make some money off of it, and it's a wonderful watch.
No, for me, that comment, I feel like that comment is more towards not the quality of the roles being written, but more about working consistently. No one can replace Shobana, Urvashi, Manju Warrier, Revati. Others are replaceable, that's the difference. Replaceable actresses get replaced, irreplaceable actresses won't. And of course, below that, there were comments like, they got roles like that. Basically in those 80s and 90s, they should get these very powerful, versatile roles. And somewhere along that line was another comment, which was two things are at play here. First, many of them feel easily replaceable. If you don't have Nimisha, you can slot in a Darshana. If you don't have Rajisha, you can slot in any other actors out there. It is largely because the characters are written in a similar mold, and over time, the performances don't evolve or reinvent enough to stand apart. I used to defend Nimisha when people said that she had just one expression, but lately, even in her other language films, that criticism has started to feel valid. The same pattern shows up with Anna, Nikla, Darshana, Rajisha, Parvati, almost everyone, really. Kalyani, to her credit, broke that perception a bit with Loka by stepping into action and showing a different side. Is it entirely their fault? Not really. It's partly on them, but just as much on the writing. If things are to improve, the effort has to come from both sides.
I don't think it is more about replaceability or creating an intense competition. It's just writing characters. If you write good characters, there'll be like many actors will be willing to do. I don't think this is about replacing each other or just, it's just writing characters. That's all. Also, back in the 80s and 90s, there were like a lot of actors in a line. Right now there's not enough characters written. There's also the number of female actors, working female actors, has reduced in Malayalam cinema, is what we're trying to say. So nobody is trying to replace anything. I think replaceability is not the issue. Now
Yeah.
when you talk about for example Varane Avishyamuണ്ട്, അതിനകത്ത് ശോഭനയുണ്ട്, അതിനകത്ത് ഉർവശി ഉണ്ട്. പക്ഷെ again they banked so much on the nostalgia factor than actually making their character complex. It just felt like a lost opportunity to me.
Yeah, I mean, just like how Shobana was in Todarum. Like,
Yeah,
why?
what a big mishap was that.
You got Mohanlal and Shobana together, and yet you couldn't write at least two scenes, just two. Shobana, Revati, Manju Warrior, Urvashi, they were irreplaceable. If you notice, they used to get that many number of roles over a longer period of time, and obviously when you do something over a period of time and you keep improving, you get good at it, and that's not happening today, unfortunately. One other thing, I'm not trying to personally attack anyone, but Unni Mukundan is an actor who's been doing movies for well over 10 years. Okay, he's had like few good movies of his, right? Movies which became actually box office successes and all that. Yet he's there. Manju Warrier was the last force of nature in Malayalam movies. Her power was to shine in even movies where it was written to glorify the male hero character. Case in point, Thambiran and Patram. And I don't have words for Kannedi Pottuntottu. Just want to point to you that our legend Thilagan sir's words about how he got mesmerized by her performance and forgot his lines. Even after her comeback, though many of her movies were a mess, her brilliance in How Old Are You and Pradeep Owen Kodi was astounding. I believe while in her first inning she was able to shine in normal roles written for her, the expectation and the need to carry entire movies on her shoulder and not enough strong writing combined with forced female importance roles were the reason for her downfall in her second innings. I also remember watching the movie Jaya in Asianet long back and was surprised by her performance, especially masquerading as a man in an Islamic royal court of a fictional kingdom. There were scenes where her performance was so superlative that traditional males would be put to shame. And they have a follow-up comment again. It says, a bit sad to see that Manju was just a byline in your conversation when actresses like Meera Jasmine, who also got some traction. Not that she's any less, but in my opinion, Meera was more a single director actress than a multi-talented performer. So, Unni Ji Nayapur, first of all, we are very sorry.
We are sorry for not
Yeah.
giving opportunity to talk about Manju
Yeah.
Warrier, which is a wonderful actress. You can see the kind of roles she had done in the 90s and early 2000s, how beautifully she had portrayed a lot of roles. Case in point, Kannadi Pottanittu, Kanmadam, Daya. There were many roles she did it very. There was one movie with hers with Jayaram where she's from this royal family and Jayaram is this one lawyer, and she gets very attached to him. I don't know the name of the movie, but she had a negative-ish role in that. But she was wonderful in that movie as well. So, and Summer in Bethlehem, she was brilliant in Summer in Bethlehem. And like there was Jairam, there was Suresh Gavi, but she kind of stood out pretty well in Summer in Bethlehem as well. So yes, we are sorry for keep making Manju Warrier just a byline. She requires a whole episode if given a chance. What do you think?
Again, coming to her second innings, they were so focused on Manju Warrier, the celebrity, that star, and they forgot to consider Manju Warrier the actor. Kind of like how a lot of new directors want to work with Mohanlal. They forget
Yeah,
how
I agree.
how
I was just going through that.
yeah,
That was going on in my mind as well.
they
Yeah.
forget how good of an actor he is, and everyone is like trying to chase the star in him. In my opinion, the writers took the criticisms and started a process of removing the token female characters and took it too far. They eliminated most of the senior female actors' work.
Isn't that too extreme? If that is true,
I mean,
I mean,
uh,
instead of, I mean, the whole point of criticism is to make the final product better, right? Not to completely do something that'll lead to like some really dangerous consequences, or making like ruining things by doing something really stupid. I mean, oh, we can't come up. Oh, the criticism is, oh, there are no good female characters. Oh, let's just eliminate them. This is like गरीबी हटाना है गरीबों को हटा दो. That you think how stupid it sounds.
now we don't have a character role or comic female artist who consistently gets projects. May come and go, don't get remembered for long, maybe reducing payment for females for cost cutting.
The thing is, there are good female actors who do comedy. One person that comes to my mind is Meenakshi Ravindran in Premalu. She was fantastic in that small role she had. And I think Rajisha Vijayan also has a comic side. I saw her, like, her debut movie Anuraga Karikkan Vallam. She was fantastic. Like, even though her role was of a clingy girlfriend, but it did come off as comic-y, and I think like that role made me think like there is like one comic element which needs to be explored by writers.
For me, the biggest surprise was Divya Prabha in Mastishka Maranam.
Yeah, you told me that.
Oh, she was so funny, dude, in that movie. Like, so funny. She like I never expected that from her. She made that movie's experience better. Now girls are not willing for lesser important roles. That's why new female are introduced in films and importance given to character role actors to perform. So females have to wait for female oriented movies or equal important roles, which is sadly lesser.
Okay, this comment is rude. I'm sorry. I think every person who comes to act, be it a man or a woman, they are looking for good writing and good work. Even if the writing doesn't work, it's the work they also, or they focus on the job they are doing. I really don't think any female actor is waiting for, oh, I'm waiting for that female oriented role. So, nahi yaar, we want work. People want work. People want job. People want to make, money off of it, or, do some meaningful work.
This is like saying, if somebody is given money, no one is going to sit back and like, I agree to your points that women characters are missing, but there are some needles in the haystack that must not be forgotten.
That person just metaphorized our entire episode. Sorry.
Yeah. Kalyani in Loka was a memorable character because if anyone see a lady wearing a red jacket and black top or any white modern gown, we remember Chandra. Also, if anyone see a lady with red colored streaks, also we remember Chandra.
No, for me, red jacket and black top is Michael Jackson. And for me, I've seen so many women around me doing red hair streaks long before Loka. My sister. So I'm sorry. No, it doesn't make sense. Loka was, as a product, it was very good entirely. Direction was good. Story was good. I loved the attempt. The superhero was very good. But again, I don't think, personally for me, Kalyani Priyadarshan did not work for me in the movie. Maybe that's again because of the writing. And if you want to talk about relevant Kalyani Priyadarshan's character, where her character actually had an impact, even though it was like a smaller role in Talmala as Fatima. Her character was very well written. It fit well in that whole, everybody was men, but then her character was like, it made sense in that whole movie.
I actually liked Loka a bit more. She pulled off that character also well enough. As a merchandise, you're selling this Malayalam movie outside? Yeah, sure. This is actually a brilliant effort what they did. I mean, movies from Bollywood or even Tamil and all, which had like 3-4 times the budget, and what they did compared to that, Loka was like miles ahead.
Far better.
Miles ahead and far
Miles
better, right? Now I have 2 comments. I think these both comments we need to answer simultaneously because I believe they're in 2 ends of a spectrum. In 80s and 90s, most of the films were family drama, or even in hero-centric movies like Thambaran, family context was critical to expand the storyline. So in a family context, female character also needed to be a family hero, sentiments with mother, sisters, responsibility, and a lover. But look at now, most of the Malayalam films are pitched in an urban area, and the story context is out of the family premises. So female characters are less needed in a hero-centric or male-centric movie. Mother and sister roles are very less, only lover roles are needed. All these are in the case of a hero-centric movie. But there are several good films way better than the 90s and 80s being created in Malayalam industry nowadays. So deliberate attempts may be needed to bring female characters to scripts. Apart from Shobana, Manju Warrier, Urvashi, Meera Jasmine also had carried many films on her shoulder in many movies like Kasturiman, Gramophone, Achuvindi Amma, Padam Onnori Vilapam, etc. I get the family context thing, okay? But second, it's a bit strange for you to assume that in urban settings, families don't exist.
Also, that comment is very sexist.
If you're telling me like your extent of exposure to the women in your life are always in a domestic setting, it's like always a mother, always a sister, a lover, maybe then there is a problem with the exposure to women you have in your life.
Are you telling me like women do not exist outside of domestic households? I mean, have you lived in a city? I mean, have you looked around how many women around you work and are struggling and hustling? What are you even trying to say? And nobody's denying that
Yeah.
fact that 80s and 90s
Yeah.
had like a very family oriented roles. I'm not
Yeah.
denying that. What I am appalled is to think that, oh, because it was family related, that's why the female characters were related. And the moment you place stories based in, city, like small cities or big cities, suddenly there is no female representation because women don't exist in urban sector. What are you saying?
I think this is a necessary evil step towards a future where female characters are written without being forced to be secondary to men, given how patriarchal Kerala society is. If you avoid misogyny and make a movie with realism in Kerala, you'll have to avoid women or be ready to constantly critique patriarchy. I'm not against constant industry-wide critique of patriarchy, I'm all for it and would absolutely love it, but it won't happen soon. A good example is seeing how Vipin Das had a romance where a boy was rewarded with creepy behavior, harsher and Shaina, that you usually associate with 2000s Dilip. In Vaazha too, despite being the one who wrote Jaya 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 Jaya, writers don't see misogyny all the time despite it existing and thus are unable to constantly critique patriarchy. In addition to my other comment, I'd also like to add that heteronormativity is not challengeable in Kerala at all and will not be for a century. So, a majority of prominent female characters will be associated with a female character who eclipses them easily. And it's hard for many audiences to imagine a main character woman without any romance with men.
This whole comment feels like a fact and not an opinion. I'm sorry. And it is shocking me. First of all, there is no connection between the topic of the episode to patriarchy and misogyny. We are just talking about writing female characters. It is just a part of cinema. That's all we are talking about. This person who commented, it's a very binary, dude. Like, it's either a 0 or it is 1. It doesn't work like that, man. Also, like what I said before for the previous comment, when you put this opinion of yours ahead, are you telling me that writers currently are incapable of writing women of today's generation and it is hard to give them representation? Is that what you're trying to say?
The reason why I picked these two comments is they seem to be resting in two ends of the spectrum. I don't know why that commentator is saying like, oh, we should be critiquing patriarchy constantly in movies and you're all up for it. My point is this. I personally don't believe that is a fundamental function of a movie. A fundamental function of a movie is to entertain. Okay, I'm not a big fan of having, social messages presented in a preachy way. Women are written as always being romanced by men. If that is the only function given for that character in that movie, yeah, that's true, that is very reductive. We both, one movie which we have discussed at length is Thuvanathumbikal. Okay, a movie which came out almost 40 years ago. Even to this day it is being discussed because I believe that movie discusses the dynamics between a man and a woman. There is romance between Jai Krishnan, Clara, right, with Parvati's character. It's all there.
Her name is Radha in the movie.
Yeah, so Thuvanathumbikal discusses this trio of Jaya Krishnan, Clara, and Radha.
And all of their feelings. It's not just one man's feeling, it is Clara's feeling. It's Radha's feeling. And how it is impacting Jaya Krishnan.
Jaya Krishnan, as much as he comes off as that cliche guy from that time, he feels attracted to women who rightfully challenges him, right?
Yeah.
Not someone who is confrontative, who can, actually call him out when he is wrong. This huge discussion as to why Clara didn't end up with Jai Krishnan. What I have thought is this. Jai Krishnan always keeps her on a pedestal. Oh, she's this special being and, she deserves so much like that. But from Clara's
she doesn't want She doesn't want to be treated like that.
From Clara's perspective, men who treat them this high at one point is going to drop. You just be normal with me, and that's it. And that's
treat
what
me like a normal person.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what Jai Krishna never got. Jai Krishna always seemed to be like, oh, she suffered so much, so I have to, crank it up all the way.
I think she wanted to be that hero, but she's like, no, I'm not gonna marry you just because you're trying to protect me or you're trying to be this hero.
Yeah.
I will marry you if I fall in love with who you are as a person, or you prove to me that, okay, all of this is normal. There has to be love. There has to be love and respect, and nothing all of this what is that, savior complex or anything. She broke his savior complex attitude.
Now, when it comes to Radha also, she's quite clear as to what it is she wants, right? See, the first time when they meet, what is she pissed off at him for?
വലിയ പരിചയം അടുപ്പമില്ലാത്ത ആൾക്കാരെ കയറി എടി അവളെന്നൊക്കെ സംബോധന ചെയ്യുന്നത്.
We barely know each other. അപ്പോൾ ഒരു പ്രതിപക്ഷ ബഹുമാനത്തിൽ സംസാരിക്കണം. Once we get close enough, once we have, that sort of that, closeness between us, by all means, do call Eddie Podi and all that shows the closeness we have. One thing which I've noticed, Jai Krishnan, Clara and Radha, they all were monogamous. Like, they, at the end of the day, they wanted that one person, and that's enough. One more thing was, we spoke about why Clara finally ended up with Soman's character. He was everything what Mohanlal wasn't, right? He has experienced a life with a woman. He has been in a loving relationship, in a marriage. So he knows how to not overdo it with women. He knows that, okay, you know what, they're just like us. We don't need to overdo it. Adu ayakku nannayittu ariyam. Second thing, I feel like Soman's character was a bit more secure with what he is. Like, he wouldn't be like, if I don't get Clara, I'm not going to, be the end of it and all. No, he's like...
This Jaya Krishnan was slightly insecure because he was hoping at some point maybe, I could get her.
Exactly.
Like, she will finally, understand what I am and maybe love me, and want me. But that didn't happen.
Persistence didn't work over here,
there,
honestly. So that is a thing with when it comes to...
My God, this movie has layers and layers, and I think you've digressed from the topic as well.
This is the thing with Thuvanathumbikal, right? If we start talking about it, right, ഒരു full episode ഇതിങ്ങനെ സംസാരിക്കാൻ പറ്റും. Okay,
every hardcore Malayalam film enthusiast, they love Thoovanathumbikal. We all love Thuvanathumbikal a lot. For the non-Malayalis, please check out that movie. That movie is on Amazon Prime. I'm guessing it is with subtitles as well.
Coming to Sreenivasan, another man who wrote so many wonderful characters. The one thing, if you know about Sreenivasan, is this: he almost always writes flawed characters. Man, woman, it doesn't matter. That's how he writes it, and that's what makes it more human. So when you see Ponmottedanna Tharavu in that Urvashi, or you see Talyanamandram Urvashi, you know
what was that other movie where Parvati was his wife and he's very always
Vadakku
Nokkiyandram, yes.
When we see Ponmottedanna Tharavu, that transition which happens to Urvashi, and suddenly you can see it's building up to it. Same way Talyanamandram also, she's not that direct villain, no, she's slowly creating that friction. So adu aa character relatable aanu because അങ്ങനെയുള്ളവരെ നമ്മൾ കണ്ടിട്ടുണ്ട്
ഞങ്ങളുടെ ഫാമിലിയിൽ അങ്ങനത്തെ ആൾക്കാരെ കണ്ടിട്ടുണ്ട്.
No, in that movie, Urvashi's character's identity is more than being his wife. It was all this. I feel like this sort of writing makes it interesting.
Talyanamandram more. You know why? Because see, he wrote 2 female characters in that movie. 3, sorry. One is Kepesalalida, which is Sreenivasan's mother. One is Parvati, who is Jayaram's wife. And one is Urvashi, who is Sreenivasan's wife. Parvati's character, I don't know what her character's name is in the movie. She is a working woman, and her husband Jayaram he runs a local general store. But what I like in that movie is they did not glorify oh, she's this working woman. No, it's normal. She's a very secure person because she's a nice person. Although she has a job and she's nice, she's being respectful to Urvashi because she's the older daughter-in-law. But again, here Urvashi is the flawed person because she's like, oh, I'm a little insecure because she's the educated one, she has the job. So ingane oru family il thanne ingane 3 female characters aanu ezhudiya Sreenivasan, which is brilliant. Also, this is OG feminism before feminism without making any noise.
Even the movie Chinda Vishtaya Shamla, where Shamla's character was written in how, like, yeah, they've shown her as to be that perfect character, right? She's the perfect wife, she's a perfect mother, she's a perfect daughter-in-law, everything. Yet
Yeah.
when she messes up, Thilagan, Srinivasan's father, he calls her out. He's like, hey, you're the one who have enabled him to do all this. This is
Also,
the
the
thing
second
when
part
you,
of Chinda Vishtaya Shamala, where she's like,
yeah,
I'm done being the understanding wife. You did nothing for me. Now I'm gonna take over the life which
exactly.
technically you are supposed to be the provider, but I'm gonna take up and I'm gonna take care of the rest of the thing. And I don't care if you come back into my life.
Oh, and again, when she's doing that, nowhere it's like, oh, ഞാനൊരു പെണ്ണായിട്ട് പോലും ഞാൻ ഇതൊക്കെ ചെയ്യുന്നു. No, none of that. Basic survival. It's like, you know what? It says in the movie, right? പട്ടിണി കിടന്ന് ചത്തു എന്ന് പറയത്തില്ല. That dialogue, that's what. When you have good observation, when you have good creativity, then it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman. You can write interesting characters.